Good day, students. You are welcome back to second semester of 2023-2024 academic session. As usual, I'm by name Dr. Jamilu Shehu. I will be your guide in the research method. If you so wish, you can call it nursing research. Yes. The course description. The course is considered as a prerequisite course for research project. So in essence, the course will guide you and help you in developing your research project at the end of your program. It is based on principle, concept, and theory of nursing research, as well as methodology to solve community problems. So from the course title, Nursing Research, it will be tailored towards some basic principles in nursing, concept and theories related to nursing, as well as methodology, that is method to use in solving communal problems. Content will include selecting a research topic, statement of the problem, literature review, objective, methodology, analysis, discussion, and conclusion. So after carefully selecting your project title, before even selecting, what informed your decision in selecting your project title? Which problem is the title trying to solve? Then you now think of that brings us to statement of the problem. You have to know the gap in knowledge that you want to cover, you want to block, or you want to review. Then you go to literature review. You now look at journals, manuscript, textbook, and see the questions or the method being used by previous researchers. Researchers either publish or unpublished. You review their work. You now see what are the gaps in knowledge. Then you now try to bridge that gap. You look at the objective. What are the objectives that you want to achieve? Objective have to be specific. Each objective must target a particular problem that you want to solve. Then you look at methodology. Which method are you going to use? Is it existing? Is it new? Is it algorithm? Is it computer language you want to use? Then you now go to analysis. But before you go into analysis, you have to get your data. How do you now get data? You can get data in different ways. Through questionnaire, we have primary and secondary data. That is the one primary is the one first hand. That is the one you go to field and collect yourself. While secondary is the one you get from relevant authorities, data that is already existing. That's secondary data. Then you analyze that data to inform your decision. Then you now discuss the result of that research, of your findings. Then you now conclude. That is to give your own observation from the analysis and discussion of the research. This course will be accompanied by preparing a research proposal. So I'll be helping you, I will guide you to developing a small research proposal and describing findings fully for the partial fulfillment for your graduation. So without a project, there is no way you graduate. So please, you need to pay attention so that we'll achieve the set objective of the course. The specific objective of the program. At the end of the course, the student nurse should be able to prepare a complete research proposal and evaluate the quality of research. After developing, at the end of it, you should be able to evaluate to know what is the quality of my research. Then there are also specific objectives. At the end of the course, the student should be able to, one, choose an appropriate research project after considering the important criteria for selection. Then prepare a background statement concerning the problem selected for the study. You prepare a review of the literature related to the topic. Develop the research. Develop a project work plan adapted to the local condition. Okay, The work plan will now help you. Okay, how many weeks or how many months should I be able to finish this research work? Then that will inform your decision. Then you prepare a plan for identification and use of project staff. Who are you to use? Who and who will be a stakeholder to this project? Then you now prepare the project. Then dissemination of study findings. You have to make your findings available. Then you develop thesis or paper writing approach. Any work that after your findings you have to publish for your work to be visible, to know, yes, at least people will know your contribution to knowledge. Then we want to start by how does nursing research begin? Research in nursing begin with Florence Nightingale with her landmark publication in her note. That was in 1859. In 1859, there was this a renowned researcher in nursing profession by name Florence Nightingale. She developed a note that has to do with the profession on nursing. It describes her views in environmental factors that promote physical and emotional well-being. Then her most widely known research contribution involved an analysis of factors affecting soldier mortality and morbidity during the Crimea War, that is in Russia. So she tried to make a contribution to see how does mobility and morbidity affect soldier in a battleground. Then early research. Most studies in the early 1900s concerned nurses' education. For example, in 1923, a group called Committee of the Study of Nursing Education studied the educational preparation of nurse teachers and administrators and the clinical experience of nursing students. Then nursing research continued to develop at a rapid pace and will undoubtedly flourish in the future because it's something that has come to stay. Nursing is a profession that has to do with life and well-being of people. So it's something that has come to stay. It will continue to evolve to till eternity because every day you have to make research so that new ideas, new way of doing things. For example, before now, people will go into this biochemistry analysis, this lab analysis. But now, with sophisticated machine like the nuclear magnetic resonance, nuclear magnetic imaging, CT scan, all these things, you just run your sample and you get results. And the priority for nursing research in the future will be the promotion of excellence in nursing practice. And this will help us in achieving some of the said objectives. Then trends. What are the trends towards the future? The future of nursing research will be to promote excellence in nursing science and practice. How do you promote excellence? It's through new ideas, through research. So that is the only way nursing profession will be a renowned course by research. It will not be an excellent, you promote excellence in nursing science and practice. For example, you want to know the effect of a particular drug on human being. You have to administer the drug, then study it to know how this, what you are trying to do by studying, you are doing a research. So that is what research entails. Future nurses will intensify their research skill and use those skills to address emerging issues of importance to the profession and to the patient. So what you are doing, if you are making any research in future that will enhance or promote excellence in the profession, one, you are increasing your own skill and you are making the profession you are making the profession more unique, and you're adding some unique feature to the patient. Because once there are new research, you try to administer to patient, and it will help in making the life of that patient better. Then we'll now go into definition of research. So what we are going to do, we'll try to understand what is research. Then we'll now relate it to nursing profession. So research is a process of systematic inquiry or study to build knowledge in a discipline. So any systematic approach that you are carrying or to study, to build knowledge, to add something to an existing knowledge. Okay, somebody has worked on the effect of, let's say, Quaterm, that is anti-malaria drug, to patient. So you now study it and build on it. So you are building, you are not creating a new knowledge in that discipline. All you are trying to do, you are making a systematic study to build knowledge in that discipline. So you are adding, you discover that there is a gap and you want to cover that gap. That is to say, you are building knowledge in a discipline, in an existing knowledge. So the purpose of research is to validate and refine the existing knowledge and develop new one. So there is an existing, people are doing it in a traditional way, and you want to do it in a modern way. So you now bring new ideas to go with the 20th century. These are the definition of research. So you are not doing something new. All you are doing, you are validating and refining existing knowledge so that you develop a new ideas, new knowledge, new skills. The result of research process, after you must have undertaken a research, these are some of the things you are expected to get at the end of your research. One, you provide a foundation on which practice, decision, and behaviors are led. Then you create a strong scientific base for nursing practice and application. Of results demonstrate professional accountability to insurers and healthcare consumers. So you have to create sciences, because nursing science, in science we have different ways of getting solving problem, either through a theorem, through hypothesis, or by law. So what you are doing, if you are going to lab to undergo a particular test to see how a particular test or a particular something is being done, you are making a scientific inquiry. That is, you are making scientific base for nursing practice, and the application of the result after your research, you will demonstrate professional accountability. That will show that, yes, you know what you are doing. You are a professional in that regard to insurers and healthcare consumers. Then now we go to definition of nursing research. What is nursing research? Nursing research is a systematic approach used to examine phenomena important to nursing and nurses, that clinical practice be based on scientific knowledge. You don't just assume. This systematic approach used to examine phenomena. Phenomena is just processes important to nurses and to nursing and nurses. That is to profession and those practicing the profession. That clinical practice be based on scientific knowledge. You don't just assume. It must be through scientific knowledge, through either theorem, through law, or by making, by law, by theorem, and by one other method. So evidence generated by nursing research provides support for quality and cost effectiveness of nursing intervention. The introduction of evidence-based change into direct provision of nursing care may occur at the individual level of a particular nurse or at varied organizational or societal change. So this research, any changes you are bringing will now have effect either to the profession, either to the practitioner, to the organization you are working, or to the society at large. So, and that is the essence of research. It's targeted towards solving a particular problem, towards building on an existing knowledge. Either the knowledge exists or it's a new area that you are trying to bring into the profession. Then nursing research. Nursing research is aimed at, these are some of the importance of nursing research. Nursing research is aimed at impacting the direct provision of nursing and healthcare to recipients of nursing care. Nursing research is also needed to generate knowledge in areas that affect nursing care process indirectly. This helps to begin nursing research adventure by developing an appreciation of the significance of research in nursing and the research roles of nurses through historical and futuristic approach. So you have to make it, okay, in 100 years back, these are how things are done. Now, because of the modern things, because of the technological advancement, this is how things are done. And in the next 50, 20 years, this is how it's expected to. Before now, there is nothing like AI. In India or in Malaysia, you go to clinic, you don't see doctors. You see AI doctors, they will attend to you. This is as a result of research, as a result of technology. Nurse researcher role. What are the role of nurse researchers? One of the role of nurse researcher is two nursing roles are specifically focused on research. The first one is the clinical nurse specialist, which is called the CNS, and the clinical nurse researcher. The clinical nurse researcher, which is the CNR. That is, there are two roles in which a nurse researcher can play. It's either you are a clinical nurse specialist, that is CNS, and the clinical nurse researcher, which is the CNR. Research findings are being used increasingly as the basis for clinical decision. It's through research that you'll be able to decide, okay, this drug should go with this ailment, this should go with this. That is the only way that research funding are being put to use. Evidence-based practice can be defined as the process of systematically finding, appraising, and using research finding as the basis for making decisions about patient care. Without research, there are some of these illnesses that before now we don't know about them. But with the advancements of technology, with the research by nurse, by doctors, we were able to get to know some of these things. Before now, in 50, 60 years back, nobody know about diabetes. Nobody know about hepatitis. But now they have come to stay because of research. Once somebody is diabetic, you discover before now, they'll say, oh, it's malaria, it's this. But as a result of evidence-based practice, evidence-based research, these systematic findings brought us to life, that we were able to know that so many things happen. There are steps in nursing research. The research is a process that takes place in series of steps. So the 10 steps are as follows. Formulating the research question or problem, defining the purpose of the study, reviewing related literature, formulating hypotheses and defining variables, selecting the research design, selecting the population sample and setting, conducting a pilot study, collecting the data, analyzing the data, and communicating the conclusion. So I'll take them one after the other. These are the 10 steps in a research process. The first one is formulating the research question or problem. You have to develop a topic. But before developing that topic, what is the problem you intend to solve? For example, I want to study the effect of antivirus, what do you call them? And let's say anti-malaria drugs on patient. You want to know which one is more effective. So you have 5 patients. You have to administer the drugs. Then you look at their reaction. You now see how quick these drugs are working before you can now inform your decision. Then after that, then you will now be able to say, okay, I want to know the effect of these drugs on so patient. So that will now form your topic, your research topic. Then you now define the purpose of the study. What is the purpose? What is the specific problem you are targeting to solve? Any research that is not specific, that is not trying to solve a particular problem, then that research is not a research. Then you also review some literatures. Review literatures, that's existing knowledge, knowledge that has been published or unpublished. You have to review those knowledge, you have to review the literatures, then to be able to know how to go about it. Without review literatures, then you'll be left blind. So you have to review to know, okay, this is how it's done, this is the existing knowledge, this is the gap, then you try to cover that gap. Then you formulate hypotheses and define the variables. What are the variables in your research? You have to define them. Then hypothesis is simply like an assumption. You have to assume. You have to take some decision to assume that, okay, this is how this is supposed to be, and this is how this is supposed to be. In the course of our lecture, we'll discuss what is hypothesis. Then we'll try to know it. Then you select your research design. You design how you want the research to be carried out. Then you select the population, sample, and setting. Okay, this my research. Which population, which sample, which community am I targeting? These are some of the selecting the population, sample, and setting. Then conducting a pilot study. You have to conduct something like feasibility study. You have to do it in a smaller scale before you now generalize to make it a bigger one. Then you collect your data. You go into data. You collect data by either interview, by physical interview, maybe by anyhow you want to do it. Maybe by creating a Google search so that people will react to it. Then you now analyze that data. There are different statistical methods in analyzing data. There are softwares you now use to analyze data, not like before. You just input your data and it analyzes it. It can give you in pie chart, bar chart, different aspect. Is it in regression analysis? Is it in multivariate? Different distance. Then the 10th one is communicating your conclusion. You have to make your conclusion, your findings known. You have to conclude, okay, at the end of my research, I was able to get this, and this. Then you make informed decision. You now make a way forward. The most common design used in healthcare research are case study. It can be case study, it can be survey, need assessment, experimental, quasi-experimental, methodologic, meta-analysis, and secondary analysis. These are different ways in which you can design your research. Nursing research. Nursing research does not just happen. It's linked to several things. It links to education, it links to existing theory, and it links to the practice in nursing profession. Nursing research provides the basis for expanding the unique body of knowledge, of scientific knowledge that form the foundation of nursing practice. Nurses become knowledgeable consumers of research through educational processes and practical experience. So nurses, they become knowledgeable consumers of research through the education they obtain and through practice. So if you join the two, as you have the qualification, you have the certificate, then you also put it in practice. That will make you a better nurse. Then a nurse must have a basic understanding of the research process and have a critical appraisal skill. You have to be a critical thinker. You have to think. You have to be somebody that is motivated to bring new ideas, to bring solutions. You must be a problem solver. That provides a standard for evaluating strength, weakness of research study before applying them in clinical processes. You have to know to evaluate the research, to know, okay, what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses. So in this case, you must ensure that, okay, the strength outweigh the weakness. That is the only way it can be put in clinical practice. Nurses at all levels of educational preparation have a responsibility to participate in research process. These are some of the research process that a nurse or nurses are expected to partake. The first one is the role of a graduate is to be knowledgeable consumer of research. You have to be knowledgeable consumer of research for you to be a better nurse. Research study will emphasize clinical issues, problem and outcome. You have to look at the clinical issues, then you have to provide solution, then and you have to know the problem, then you provide solution. That is the outcome. You have to prioritize. Priority will be given to research study that focuses on promoting health and developing cost-effective healthcare facility. No matter how your research try to solve problem, if it is not cost-effective, then it will be difficult for the society to key into it, because it must be cost-effective. So you have to look at that factor in developing your research. Then we now go into purpose of doing research. What are the purpose of doing research? The purpose of research may be organized into three groups. The first one is to explore a new topic. The second one is to describe a social phenomena, that is social processes, social problem, social vices. Then the third one is explain why something occur, why this thing happen like this. Then you have to go into research to know, is this how it's supposed to do? Then you bring in a new way. Then to further explain all this, the studies may have multiple purposes. The first one is both to explore and to describe, but one purpose usually dominates. Do you want to explore? You only want to know? You want to see? That is all? Or you want to describe? So one must take precedence over the other one. Then there are types of research. We have descriptive research. We'll start with descriptive research. We have explanatory research. Then we have applied research. So we'll start with descriptive research. The present picture of the specific details of situation, social settings, or relationship. When you know the descriptive research present a picture of the specific details of situation, how situation is at a particular time, social setting or relationship is what describe descriptive research. It tries to describe in detail specific situation, social setting, or relationship. It seeks to determine the answers to who, what, when, where, and how question and how. It seeks to determine answers to who, what, who to administer to, what to administer, when to administer, where to administer. These are some of the purpose of descriptive research. Then we now go to goals of descriptive research. The goals of descriptive research, one is to describe the situation in terms of its characteristics, provide an accurate profile of a group. You provide a correct profile of a particular group. Give a verbal or numerical picture in percentage of the situation. You must make your finding known. You must make it in percentage. Present a background information. You must give a background information. That is, for example, after selecting your topic, you have to do what is called introduction. A background of the study. You have to give a brief history, how these things started, how these things are. Then create a set of categories or classify the information. You have to classify the information into different groups. Then sequence, set of stages, and the last one is to focus on who, what, when, where, and how, but not why. Then we go to explanatory research. The desire to know why, to explain, is the purpose of explanatory research. Explanatory research try to know why, always the reason behind a particular problem. Why is this thing like this? Then it builds on explanation. It try to build on exploratory and descriptive research. It's always try to build to explore on what are the new ways, on how things have been described, and goes on to identify the reason for something that occur. So it's always asking, it's always trying to bring solution to why. So it's always trying to identify the reason for something that occur, something that happened. So explanatory research looks for causes and reasons. For example, a descriptive research the word may is a probability. That is in descriptive. Descriptive research, e.g., 10% of the patients abuse their children. So this is descriptive because you are trying to describe in percentage. You say, e.g., 10% of the parents abuse their children. You are trying to describe that, okay, only 10% of parents are abusing their children. So you are trying to describe. You have not been specific. Then explanatory research. Less educated parents are more likely to abuse their children. So you try to explain. Why is it that? Because they are less educated, there is that tendency for them to abuse their children. So these are the two distinctions between descriptive research and explanatory research. Then what are the goals of explanatory research? The first one is explain things, not just reporting. You have to explain. In explanatory research, you have to explain. But in descriptive, you just you don't need to justify. Another point is to determine which of several explanations is best. Okay, after explanation, you now look at which one fit in best. Then determine the accuracy of the theory. Test a theory, prediction, or principle. You have to determine which of the theory is the best. You don't just go into conclusion and decide. After you look at what is the percentage of accuracy, what are the hypotheses after you run a particular process or test. Then you advance knowledge about underlying process. In explanatory research, you are expanding knowledge, you are advancing knowledge because you always try to give the reason why is this still like this. Then you build an elaborate theory. In explanatory research, you build and also elaborate theory. Elaborate and enrich a theory, prediction, or principle. You enrich, okay, a particular theory is there or theorem, and it has a gap, a vacuum. Then you try to see how you elaborate it, how you make it better. Then extend a theory or principle to new areas. Maybe a particular theory is trying to solve a particular problem, one problem, then you make it more rich, you make it more, how do I put it, to solve several problems instead of one particular problem. This explanatory research also provide evidence to support or refute an explanation or prediction. In explanatory research, you try to provide evidence to support or to refute an explanation or prediction. You don't just describe, because in descriptive, there is nothing, no any evidence to describe or to support your argument. Then we go to uses of research. There are two major uses of research: to advance general knowledge or to solve a specific problem. These are the two uses. Research or nursing research is for these two purposes. To advance general knowledge, you want to advance general knowledge or you want to solve a specific problem. These are the two major uses of research. Based on the uses, research can be basic or applied. Based on the two uses, research can now be categorized into basic research or applied research. Basic research, also called academic research or pure research or fundamental research. All these names are for basic research. Academic research, pure research, fundamental research. While applied research, you apply the existing principle in advancing knowledge. So let's start with basic research. Basic research advances fundamental knowledge about the human world. It advances fundamental knowledge about the human world. It focuses on refuting or supporting theories that explain how this world operates, such as what makes things happen, why social relations are a certain way, and why society changes. These are basic things. These are fundamental things. These are academic things. These are pure research. It tries to know what makes things happen, why social relations are in a certain way, and why society changes. These are examples of basic research. Basic research, in essence, is a research that advances fundamental knowledge about the human world, generally about the human world. And the uses of basic research. Basic research is the source of most new scientific ideas and ways of thinking about the world. A new idea or fundamental knowledge is not generated only by basic research. Applied research too can build a new knowledge. So new knowledge in applied research we can also build. So you can say there is similarity between applied and basic research. So the two of them have the potential of generating new building on or advancing new knowledge. Nevertheless, basic research is essential for nourishing the expansion of knowledge. Basic research is essential, is important, is the basis for nourishing the expansion of knowledge. Researchers at the center of the scientific community conduct most of the basic research. So most researchers uses basic research. Then we now go into applied research. Applied research tries to solve specific policy problem or help practitioners accomplish tasks. Okay, they are just like a short-time goals. They are trying to solve specific problem. Okay, there is COVID-19. All those measures, using face mask, using these are short-time policy to prevent such. So it also helps practitioners to accomplish a particular task. Seeking a solution on a specific problem for a limited setting is also try to seek a solution on a specific problem for a limited setting. So it's not a solution that is forever. It tries to solve that problem at that time. It is a descriptive research. Its main strength is its immediate practical use. Conducted when decision must be made about a specific real-life problem. Research, for you to have a good research, these are some of the characteristics of good research. A research must be purposeful. What do you want to be able to contribute? The purpose, that is the purpose of the research. Then it must be targeted. Who are the audience? You must be targeting a particular audience. You must be targeting a particular community. You must be targeting a particular society. Then it must be credible. Credible in the sense that it considers sources of information, method of data collection, personnel involved. All these people, you must look at them for your research to be credible. You consider sources of information. Is it a good source? Method of data collection. How do you collect your data? Then personnel involved in collecting data. Then a good research must be timely. Is the information needed? So it must be timely. You cannot say, okay, you want to make research in 2 years, 3 years. Then the problem you are trying to solve may have been metamorphosed into a different problem again. Then there is nature of research. Nature of research. Research can be systematic, logical, empirical, reductive, or replicable. So systematic, then plan, you have to plan, identify, design, collect data, then evaluate the data. Then logical, examine the procedures to evaluate conclusion. Then empirical, the decisions are based on data observation. Reductive, general relationships are established from data. Then replicable, actions are recorded. All you are doing, you are recording. You don't just assume. You have to put it in writing for record purpose. Thank you for listening. This brings us to the end of the lecture. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.